Well, as far as the resources that have been most helpful, I have 5 that I'll start with, and actually we'll just leave it at the top 5. So the first would be the Weissman Center. So you being here today shows you're a little bit connected, and that's good. Things that we've done through the Weissman Center have included a few different studies, and one that you heard someone speaking of this morning is the next. We believe in, participating and paying it forward, and helping those that are going to come along, decades and generations from now, helping maybe that path be a little easier. So we participate in research. We participate in a program that Barb coordinates here called the LEND program. We're family mentors for future geneticists. The 2 that I'm working with this semester are here today. They're all pretty well, so I'm very proud of them. Last year, I was assigned a genetic student as well, and I kind of just did it. She met, I believe, once with my daughter and then I just met with her several other times for discussions and things. But this year, I'm doing it totally different. Lisa and Cheryl and Abigail and I are spending a lot of our time together, so they're getting just what the life experience is. And in that whole just, trying everything once because we can, like we were at a pottery class the other night doing some pottery and painting it, the 4 of us. So then we'll be going to, watch the UW game next week at the Union. We're going to do some of the fun stuff, and then if there's any opportunities for the challenging parts, we're going to save that so we don't scare them off right away. But there's a lot of different things here at the Weissman Center that you can participate in. And, as I said earlier, there's just a lot of people that just don't. And I think that you have to do it for yourself, your child, and for, the future generations coming up. So be involved here with, as much as you can. Madison Area Down Syndrome Society, www.nabss.org. Again, I'm really thankful because I came from another state, and luckily my boss was from Wisconsin, and had a child that came through the Weissman Center. So that was my first call. And then when I called here, they also referred me to MADS at the time. So that was very helpful. All of my doctors and pediatrician I got from Sterling's predecessor. Actually, I just said, who do you know that's good, with people with Down syndrome? And we signed up for all those people, and they've been fabulous. So get involved with MADS for, social activities, advocacy, and just, if you have questions, if you need emotional support, whatever the case may be. So be involved, get something from it, and also there's something that you can give back to somebody that's coming up after. So please do get involved with that. Third would be Madison Partners for Inclusive Education. If you're anywhere from birth to 3 up to the transitional period, you need these people. These were started by parents that wanted to make sure their students with a variety of disabilities were having their needs met. And it's interesting as we meet because there's different things going on in different schools, and that's how I kind of learned, hey, this IEP that they wrote for me and had me sign maybe wasn't the best, So Madison Partners is highly recommended. I mean, you can just be on the email list, and then if you want to be more involved, to meet with the Director of Educational Services and MMSD, we've got monthly meetings with him. There's different things you can do to really be involved in. Drive this for your student and those that are coming up. Fourth would be the ARC of Dane County. Now this, I just discovered in the past couple months that there is one here just by happening to drive by it. So I think that's a little bit more for the older students, but we had went to the Halloween dance. It was a hopping party. So if you've got, I would say, it was mostly, older. We at 7, we were definitely the youngest. My daughter was definitely the youngest, but they're looking for new members also. And if we want to, have support systems when our children are 10 and 20 years from now, we needed the ARC, to do that for our children now, and we need to be there. The 5th thing would be the Wisconsin Bureau for people with developmental disabilities. So this is definitely dealing with things more on like the legislative level. The one thing they have coming up is partners in policy making, and that's free training for you also so that you can be more, educated and hopefully be able to participate in the future. I definitely, when I got the invitation to do this, was like, I'm not an expert, and I was like definitely trying to shirk the responsibility, because I definitely don't feel like I know enough. But what I've learned is you don't have to know everything about everything all the time. Even just, showing up is beneficial. I was at Dane County budget meeting just to be there to support because, they're wanting to cut the funds for people with developmental disabilities. So if they cut it 3% now, okay, and then in another couple of years they'll cut it 3%. And when your child is to that age, they're going to need those community supports. Is there going to be any money? So just show up. You don't have to be an expert on everything all the time, but just show up, participate, and network. I would say that's, now that I, through my daughter and her force of personality, have come out of my little shell, and I'm trying to be more involved, and I'm interested in giving as much as I am trying to take away. And it's really, if you can do that, it's really going to help us all in the whole community as the years go on.
I want to really talk about myself as a grandpa, not about me, but about the services. The first 3-year program, I think, was not only helpful for my daughter Jody in getting the information that she needed and to help with how to work with Carson and so on, but I think it was very helpful for my wife Sherry and I to understand all the kinds of things that were going on, the services and that kind of thing. I talked a little bit about the IEP, so I won't go into that anymore, but I think Carson has the luxury, if that's the word, of having an older sister, a couple of years older, and a younger sister. And they really do protect him. They will fight, they will disagree on things like kids do. But let somebody try to pick on Carson, and you better be ready because they got 2 little girls coming after him. I've seen that happen. One little story. Recently, Jody told me, my daughter told me that Carson in kindergarten was going to have show and tell. And I would imagine, like Jody, my wife Sherry and I were a little bit concerned too. How will he be accepted, in the regular kindergarten class? How will kids deal with him? So now he's got show and tell time. He's got delayed speech, and still is not potty trained, and all kinds of things. So what Jody did is put together some kind of a collage of pictures or whatever of family members, the cats, the car, I know it all goes in the thing, and then gave to the teacher kind of a prompt sheet so that Carson would be, all he'd have to do is point to the picture and say, yeah, that's Papa, or whatever it might be. The nice thing is that when Carson finished his little presentation, his classmates clapped for him. Isn't that quite nice that at kindergarten level, they appreciated the fact that he was doing something that, for them was maybe quite natural. But yet he took the effort and did it. So I think kids really are very protective, not only in their siblings, but I think even their classmates. And so I think kids with Down syndrome can be accepted, and there'll be pitfalls coming down the line and all that kind of thing. But I think generally the attitude about dealing with students with special needs has changed significantly from the time that Doris's daughter went through school and so on. So is it perfect? Mm-mm. But it's better.
Much better.